Bill Nye the Science Guy.
Nerds.
What is a nerd?
Lone gunman.
We're playing D&D tonight. You want to come?
Gangsters, what's up, guys?
Beakman's World!
Don't be jealous that I've been chatting online with babes all day.
Just keep your power gloves off her, pal.
Brace yourselves, gentlemen.
A little bit of geek news for you. So, last weekend in Toronto, they hosted a video game tournament. Not groundbreaking. But this wasn't Team Rocket League or COD or League of Legends or Fortnite or Counter-Strike or the EA Sports FC soccer game or even a Madden tournament. But it was a sports game. I will tell you that.
Sports.
It was a sports game that came out 33 years ago in the 16-bit era of gaming, where you had a legendary battle that took place between the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis. Sega! I was a Sega guy. Well, the Genesis was viewed as the superior system, you could say, for sports games because of the larger library. I'm sorry, Nintendo fans, it's true. You guys didn't have blast processing, which made them play faster and Sonic run faster. This sports game, though, was so popular that the tournament that hosted it in Toronto last weekend actually gave you an opportunity to join different divisions. A Sega Genesis division or a Super Nintendo division. That's pretty cool. That is legit.
They posted the next round for the tournament.
So in the tournament, and the game I'm talking about, they were playing NHL 94 by EA Sports. If it's in the game, it's in the game, except for fighting. That was taken out under the request of the NHL because they wanted to make it more family friendly, even though it was less realistic that way, without you being able to drop gloves as Ty Domi or whatever. The omission was famously complained about in this scene from the cult classic Swingers as they played it on Sega Genesis.
I wish they still had fights in this game so I could bitch slap Wayne.
Wait a minute, I'm fighting anymore?
Doesn't that suck?
Why'd they get rid of the fighting? It's the best part of the old version.
I think kids were hitting each other or something, man.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike? You can make their heads bleed on this one.
Make somebody's head bleed.
We're in playoffs.
I'm gonna make Wayne Gretzky's head bleed for super fan number 99 over here.
What's funny is the script written by Jon Favreau, he was wrong.
Am I wrong?
They had to be playing NHL 93 because Vince Vaughn does end up making Gretzky's head bleed, which you couldn't do in NHL 94. So that kind of confirmed it.
I'm going to make Wayne Gretzky's head bleed.
They weren't going to take out the fights, but still let you make Gretzky's head bleed.
I'm going to make Wayne Gretzky's head bleed.
That wouldn't make sense for the reduced violence they were aiming for. They took it all out. But, you know, it's a movie, a great one, artistic liberties and all that. But props to Toronto for hosting an NHL 94 tournament, as they've, I guess, done, as I did some research, since 2015, with results you can find as they streamed it live on YouTube, NHL 94 community, where they even had a commentator on there for the video game. And this guy, Angry J93, won both the Sega Genesis tournament side of NHL 94 and the SNES tournament. No one had ever done that before. Not both consoles like that. This was historic in the video game community. According to my research, though, this guy, Angry J93, he had won a Sega division, or the Sega division for NHL 94 4 years in a row, at least. But this time, he also won it on the Super Nintendo side. So he's won 5 straight Sega Genesis NHL 94s and then 1 Super Nintendo one. That's kind of impressive or sad. I don't know. Angry J93 should be happy. Happy J93. His level of domination clears the Oilers of the 80s. He's a dynasty on both consoles. Like, he won both leagues or something, or like the Stanley Cup and the gold medal in the same year. But this got me thinking, what somewhat obscure retro game would you like to participate in a tournament for because you always felt like you were the best?
Pop quiz, hot shot.
Like some old school game that you dominated in your neighborhood or with your circle of friends, your group of friends, that you're like, oh man, if that game had a tournament back then, with my skill level, with what I was doing, nobody be able to stop me. I once went to a Madden tournament in 2002. That was the one with Marshall Faulk on the cover, so it was Madden 03, but, they came out on the cover with it saying it's the year it's not, and it was kind of confusing, but that's how Madden always went, and some of these game companies went. So it's Madden 03. I go to the tournament, I beat 3 guys, lost the 4th. Not sure how far I would have made it, or where I actually ended up placing, because when I knew I was licked, I pulled my controller. Hold on now. Not a poor sport. Pulled my controller, yes. But I didn't turn off the game or anything. I shook the guy's hand, and I left.
You're out.
That's good sportsmanship, I think. But this guy was my kryptonite for my Eagles team that I was using with the Rams playbook. So I had some scramble ability with Donovan McNabb, but also had the mad scientist, mad genius Mike March and his playbook in there. And he was wild.
Yes, science.
Yeah, mad scientist. But this guy was using the Steelers, and they had that Dick LeBeau 3-4 defense, and he bottled me up in the second half after I had like the best play of my life to end the first half with a 70-yard touchdown pass, I think, to Todd Pinkston, who was in the league for a few years, and he knew who was receiving in the second half, and it put me up by 7. He was like, that was an amazing play. I know it was, but he beat me in the second half. But I don't know. Give me a game you were like the kid in the movie The Wizard with.
California.
That you were so good with.
California.
Yeah. That kid, he may have had some mental issues they couldn't diagnose back then at that time. They didn't know what they were dealing with. But a very touching movie with, who is it, Christian Slater in it? Jenny Lewis from Rilo Kiley, Christian Slater's in it, Fred Savage is in it, that kid's in it. They couldn't afford Jeff Bridges. They got Bo Bridges.
Am I wrong?
Yeah. They couldn't afford Jeff.
It's just a game, man.
But it's great, even though it's like, a 2-hour ad for Nintendo and specifically Mario 3. But were you good at any game as that kid was at every game?
California.
Including him winning the tournament at the end at Universal Studios, back when they still had, King Kong before it burned down? I think that happened. Or was it Backdraft that burned things down? I don't know what it was. I don't think anyone died.
He's on fire!
But there were a couple of games that I was good at that there were no tournament for back then, because these games, they were more obscure. Like WWF Warzone. That was a great game.
I'm living in a nightmare.
Did it have Macho Man in that one? It had Stone Cold. That was his reign. It came out around 99, I think. That was kind of a big deal. It had The Rock back when everybody said The Rock sucked. Like, literally, the crowd in that game would taunt The Rock. Rocky sucks. And he ended up becoming the biggest wrestling star of all time. He had a different name back then. I wasn't that into wrestling except for the games. The games were good. I was really good at that game. And then there was another game, Twisted Metal 3, which has like a freaking TV show for it now. Not specifically the third game, but a Twisted Metal TV show on one of those streaming services that you have to pay for. Those were 2 games I felt like I could dominate in. But the weird thing about today and the information that we have is that you can feel like you were great at all these games and you were the man and you'd win the NHL 94 tournament. But now you can go on YouTube and actually see who the best guys are ever. And they'll do like a speed run of a game without dying or without hitting the ground in Mario 3 or something like that ever. And you're like, yeah, I'm not on that level. That's expert level. That's the 1% of 1% of gamers. They have the gamer clutch gene. There's just no way to compare yourself to some of the pros that are out there in the esports that's going on today. It's different. It's a different gaming universe, but when I dabble in it, I still like to go retro with it. Back to the old school. Coming up next, La Murray of The Athletic will be here. No K Fig tonight, but I'm Adam Oslin, and this is FNA on Fox Sports Radio.